What are you doing?
Trying to get pretty. I'm just trimming my eyebrows.
Oh, God. Really? God.
Shut up, Joe. I'm not going for a walk. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody.
And this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. Black coffee. There wasn't much to be joyous about this week in the content. Figured I'd match the mood. So I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody is safe. Look after yourselves. Look after each other as best you can. We are today going to revisit our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, The Chantal Show, and Foodie Beauty again. To be fair, there's not too much beauty in the Foodie Beauty realm at the moment. We're going to go over a little bit. I'll just review what we did last week, and then we'll go into the week ahead. Now, let me just preface all this. I'm on day 4 around a prednisone. I'm feeling a little salty. A little bit not myself, okay? So I'm going to try to self-censor because it's not useful to be aggressive or hurtful or tell people off or read people or whatever have you. But I'm going to... This is what the information was that I took in from watching from archivists. Thank you, just saying. Of course, Chantal's channel, as it is, I went through. And then some other deleted things that came up other places. So thank you all who created content and revamped content and condensed content for us to take in so that I was able to do this today. So last week we talked about the ever-increasing highness of her streams. How they just go... She's just a little more out of it every single time. Shannon came up last week. Shannon was the old friend of Chantal's, who allegedly, I'll just use the word allegedly, but, you know, it's like, it's true, but it's not, but it's the rumor mill, but it actually happened, that kind of thing, where Shannon and Chantal were old friends. Chantal allegedly confided in Shannon some situation she had with Dom, abusive, and Shannon put it on blast in the middle of a chat. And that drew attention to Chantal, and Chantal felt compelled to explain and react to it and didn't know what she wanted to do with it and got mad at everybody, and it was messy. It was messy. I think it put her on the spot. Good or bad? We'll talk about that. So, the abuse discussion, gaslighting, seed planting, none of which was cool. And then Pete's, I see you. I hope you're doing okay. I see you, Pete's. All right? You're in my thoughts, okay? You're not just dying in the background. You know, I see you. Okay. So for Mark's part, he couldn't get through a lot of the videos without screaming. So just to put that in perspective, you know what a doll he is, and he was mad. So I'm going to start off talking about the abuse. Caveat. Abuse is abuse, okay? So we're going to be talking about a situation that could be uncomfortable, or topics that could be uncomfortable. I don't do trigger warnings, so consider that your trigger warning, okay? So, coming into this week, after Chantal having the issue with Shannon and stuff coming out, that things were going on in her relationship with Dom, and then she blew it all out on Shannon and was angry at him, saying, it doesn't matter what the hell happened between Chantal, it doesn't matter between me and Dom what happened, Shannon had no right to go about this X, Y, and Z way. Well, Chantal went a step further and escalated the discussion, saying, what if I was raped? What if he beat me black and blue? She kept escalating the allegation that was being made till they were like more and more outlandish. And then she would say into the chat, this is how things get muddled. Well, they get muddled when we throw out words that weren't used to begin with necessarily. She said, quote, even if I was beat black and blue, what she did was wrong. Okay. All right. When things continue in silence with abuse, if I was being hurt by Mark, could you imagine? And I didn't tell anybody, it continues. It continues to go on. If I confide in, I don't know, anybody, a friend of mine, that I'm being hurt in a relationship and ask them not to say anything, that's a lot of imposition to put on that person, that they know I was hurt, could be hurt again, and I don't want them to tell anybody. That's a lot to put on an individual. That was a lot to put on Shannon, I would say, in that situation, assuming all things being relative, grain of salt, Chantal's telling the story, we're hearing it from her end, primarily. So, and and that you're a bad friend if you ever brought it up again. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And she said in the stream, she doesn't have time to waste on drama. Now, let's be fair here. What is the other time being taken up with? Besides,
Like, right? Right?
not the love, but it's like naps for the rest of the time, and then maybe watching a movie. You know, so there is time for the drama. Granted, I wish you didn't have it, but when you're a willing part of situations like that, it's kind of hard for people to feel bad. But yeah. Now, I have a mental illness. Don't look surprised. I have bipolar 1, history with eating disorder stuff, body dysmorphia. I think I'm 800 pounds in the mirror, things like that. So I've been in the hospital a few times in the inpatient psych unit, about 5 actually over the years. We've been doing okay with a few blips on the radar. But it's gotten to the point sometimes where I was so ill that I had no insight into the situation that anything was wrong. I thought everything was fine, and everyone else was like, he's fucking crazy, he needs help, and he doesn't know that he needs help. So we're going to intervene on his behalf because he's not okay, and take him out of his situation and get him some help. In my case, it was maybe more severe, and I had to go stay in a hospital setting to get away for a while. The point is the insight. I didn't have any that anything was wrong. Sometimes people see situations more clearly from the outside than they do from within. So while I'd be angry in the moment, I would probably be kicking and screaming if you were dragging me out of the house. I thought I was fine and you were nuts. Later, hopefully, I would understand why they took those actions, because it was meant to protect me when I wasn't thinking clearly. So that's, I would hope people would intervene on that point. Now, how that attention was gotten, I don't know. I could agree totally with their meaning. Their methods, you know, I don't know. But with the intention behind it, yeah. I would want people to come in at that point if I was being hurt and asking people to keep secrets and don't tell anyone. And what if it gets worse? And then what position does that put other people in? So, I don't know. She did say she was going to be going to a doctor, but she promised a lot this week to go to a doctor, a therapist, an abuse counselor, addiction counseling. I don't know what happened. Chantal was great at making plans, but the follow-through was really not there, and it hasn't been for years. I think the hysterectomy happened. That happened. But a lot of the other stuff didn't. So, going to the doctor, they may ask about the sex bruises. They may take exception to be called sex bruises. She does have some other health conditions. Blood thinners, could be bruised, could be not. That muddies the waters. The fact that she's acknowledged there are bruises that got during sex. And we can have it rough if you want to play 50 Shades of Dom or whatever. But, you know, when you talk about, is it an abusive relationship? Was something that's obviously being avoided being talked about, but obviously it seems like something happened. And then there's bruises. Like, people aren't dumb, you know? And saying we've been depressed for 3 months and things aren't going good. And it's, but then I'm happy, I'll do what I want come the 21st. So, let's see. Consider the fact that you might not see the situation clearly. Just for any, you know, just consider the fact that Chantal, I mean, by the end of this week, she says she's done. We'll see. That was as of this morning, and she was laced at like 9:30 in the morning. She was wrecked. She might not be seeing it so clearly. That happens in certain situations. She has a hard time, she says, with insecurity, jealousy, what was the other one? And not trusting people. Oh, and needing attention. Now, at least that's honest. I'll give her that. But when people, and Chantal does this, whether it's for the sake, whatever her intentions are, she does it. She'll leave things out. She'll lie for the sake of privacy, I think she says often. And do that. Now, when a person regularly does that, when I used to drink, I used to lie like a rug. I mean, I would steal your purse, help you look for it. I was always suspicious other people were lying to me because I knew how easy it was for me to lie to them. And generalizing, like a good addict, I just assumed everybody lied a little bit because I lied a little bit, or a lot. You know, that was my addict mind going at the moment with my generalizations. Oh, everybody lies a little. Nobody washes their hands after they pee. Yeah, whatever. So, just, you know, just be mindful of, like, from the part to the whole. You know, my feeling, first of all, feelings aren't feelings, they're facts. Their feelings are not facts, they're feelings. You know, they're malleable. And let's not say because I do something, everybody does something. It's not like that necessarily. So, then we flip the script a little. A little bit. Because this chronically misunderstood My Chemical Romance emo thing is getting a little bit tired. She starts testing him. She puts out another video in where she tries to flip the script and say she's kind of the abusive one, or that it's going back and forth both ways. How many sex bruises does this dude have? She said she's testing him, she's the bitch, and she pushes the issues. Start blaming yourself. I mean, this is Googleable, this kind of the patterns that she falls through, for being so, unique and having special circumstances and blah, blah, blah. A lot of this stuff is very garden variety, unfortunately, in the situation she finds herself in, unless something breaks the cycle, unless something interrupts it. And one could suggest that the move Shannon made very much interrupted that, because it put it on Main Street and put it on blast for everybody to see. And then Shannon apparently had reached out to her family members too. So that puts it on Main Street. That makes it an issue that can't be ignored. And should an issue where a person's being hurt be ignored? To what extent should it be spread to people? Again, I don't know. It's not really for me to say. I have an opinion, but it's not for me to say what's right or wrong in another situation. I don't know Chantal personally. Jana's known Chantal for 15 years, and when she talked to BB, who knew her for at least 8, he said that what some things that happened with the big blow up, with the, don't call me again when your boyfriend beats you, that kind of thing. BB had said that some of that stuff might have saved her life when she had her turnaround video. After that, how there's the freak out, and then the, I get you, I see you, I hear you, and then it's high as hell, and then it's closer to payday, and then we got makeup. So, we'll see. And by the way, she's wearing a black cap in some of these videos. I know. It's bald. She's bald. Well, she has more hair than me, obviously. You don't want to deal with it some days. Throw a hat on. Who gives a shit? I don't. Whatever. Some days it's just because my head's cold, and some days it's because I'm bald and I don't like it. It depends on the day. Now, a couple sidebars here. Just little anecdotes that worked their way in this week, because everything was kind of buried in 4 hours of intoxication. There'd be a little bit of something to talk about, a little bit of the plot, a little bit of, not plot, I mean, this is her life, such as it is. A little bit of information here and there, and it's buried in a lot of stupid Q&A when she's right up at the screen like this. It's a really it's uncomfortable to watch. I mean, I kind of treat it like radio when I'm doing the notes for it. So, I can't make decisions up about my life. Yes, I'm diabetic. I ate too much today. I'll do better tomorrow. I'll do better tomorrow is going to be on her goddamn casket. On the stone. Tomorrow. None of us are guaranteed it tomorrow. I'm not trying to sound like fucking Eckhart Tolle or anybody like that, but for real, none of us know. None of us are guaranteed this evening. Things happen. How you spend your days is how you spend your life. I've heard that said to me before, and I was like, yeah, aren't you deep, fortune cookie? But it is. When you string them all together, she spent about 3 months doing nothing. Think of all the other stuff that could happen in 3 months. Not even trying, just hanging out and being ready to participate in life. What could come up in 3 months? This is a hard lesson for her to learn if she had to learn it. So, I don't know. But, so the sidebar of where she's going to do better, I never heard her say flat out she was a diabetic before. I've heard her say, I'm being treated for diabetes, this medicine controls diabetes. It's probably come up before, but this was the first in my ear I heard her say, kaboom, diabetic. And I'll check it tomorrow. I'll just eat a lot today. She ate for 4 hours. Alive. Next one, there was an anecdote buried into another live about a homeless woman who was camped out at Dom's. So Chantal gets all hot and bothered, and they're talking to Dom, and it's 4 a.m. or something. And she decides to drive over there. And she goes over there and is coming up, I guess there's a staircase leading up to some apartments, and that's where Dom lives. And there is a woman who she decides is homeless, camped out at Dom's steps. Okay. And she's of course Chantal would say, who are you? And she said, I'm a friend of the man who lives here. How stupid are the rest of them? Okay. And then she found condoms all over the doorstep. Prophylactics. Yeah. This is why we don't do the pop-in. Unless you really want to know, don't stop by your boyfriend's house. at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, if you trust him that much, don't make those kind of trips. I'm going to suspect that probably she called and he didn't answer, and she just picked up and drove over there at 4 because she was curious, maybe a little jealous of what was going on. That's what I suspect. I wouldn't blame her.
Ding, ding, ding.
Now, I've been an insecure mess, and I've done as much myself. So I don't... It's not unusual, but it's not good. I'll say that. I don't think it's unique for people to do that who deal with insecurity, to want to know the person I'm with is there, they are safe, they are not with anyone else. In my mind, I can feel like these things all make sense. I have a boyfriend, he lives here, we do this, we do that. Not that there's another woman with a bucket of prophylactics crashed out on the door. So, because that does make it sound like a druggy trap house with people coming in and out and throwing $50 at you to take your top off. It makes it sound like all those awful rumors are true. Okay? So, God, and he said he didn't know the homeless woman. Okay. Now, going back to some addiction stuff. So, she starts to talk about some of her behaviors over the last 3 months, and the big jump in them would be the bad relationship and the drug use. The excessive abuse of THC and THC products. Not so much using them at all because it's legal and people can do what they want. In my head, it's like there's people that drink and there's alcoholics and there's people that smoke and then there's potheads and there's, you know, there's a difference between that kind of thing. She's like blazed, very blazed. We're not talking hitting a few, playing Mario Kart and eating a Nashie. The fact that we have now a nickname for the Nashville chicken sandwich scares me. It just didn't, I don't know. Mark.
Yeah.
Dear Mark, can I see you for a moment, please?
Yes.
I have some questions on addiction and a couple other things, and I just want to get your perspective.
Okay.
You guys remember Mark?
Okay.
Of course. So, in one of these disastrous blackouts of a live that she was doing, she did talk a bit seriously about addiction.
Mm.
And a lot of the party line I think people hear with addiction, which they get sick of, is I'm not hurting anyone but myself.
Right.
Now, early on, that's a good excuse. Well, it feels like a good excuse.
Yeah.
She got as far as acknowledging that her behavior over the last few months is hurting other people, Pete's being one of them.
Oh, yeah.
But she says she doesn't feel like she needs to take that guilt on because she wasn't doing it intentionally.
Right.
Can you put that in perspective for us?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that type of thing is, again, I mean, it's classic addict, you know, behavior and reasoning and all of that stuff. I mean, and that, I mean, she, first of all, she wants to kind of make herself feel better, in a way. And secondly, she's saying this publicly, you know, because it was said on a live, of course. And she wants to get those people who are supporting her self-destructive ways, which I still don't get, like how, you know, but whatever, in her live stream, she wants their support. She wants to that affirmation. Yeah, no, you shouldn't. That's not your responsibility. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. That's not your fault.
Yeah.
She wants that, and that's why she said it on the live, and you know, she wants that so that she can take that off of her mind and not have to think about it or feel that way anymore. And it's pretty much, I mean, it's a damn shame because again, what we have to remember here is that Chantal today is a distorted version of herself, and her actions and her behaviors are all direct result of her active substance use. You know, she is absolutely still in active addiction. She's absolutely still using cocaine. I see it every single day, and she does everything that a person struggling with substance use does.
I mentioned earlier, she's rather textbook. I mean,
She
for
is.
how unique of an individual
she
is.
And she thinks she's not. She totally, you know, I would love for her to take a step back and watch her videos for 1 week. Watch herself on there and see what she looks like.
She would reach out to a person like her for help.
Yeah,
like, she would
I
probably
know.
feel like so sad for someone in that situation.
Yeah.
But she's never sober long enough
Yeah.
to look at it, you know.
Oh, yeah,
Watching it
I
would make her
agree.
want to get high.
Yeah. And you know, the fact that in the one video that we saw, you know, she shows us the bong and she shows up, you know, she very publicly is smoking marijuana and doing her edibles and all of that stuff, right? And that's all she's doing. And then turns the camera, mutes the camera, disappears for a while, and then comes back. Okay, what did she do then? Okay. And then the rest of the video messing with her nose for the rest of the video. I mean, come on, you know. And I think she thinks she has everybody fooled, you know. It's really quite unfortunate because I was talking about this to somebody yesterday at work, not necessarily about Chantel, but, you know, everybody, you know, what motivates a person to change, like in this situation? What happens? Well, you know, there's several things that can happen. I mean, you know, unfortunately, it's usually a major event of some sort. They sometimes call it a rock bottom, you know?
Yeah.
And that could be losing your kids, losing your home, having an overdose, like all of those things. And sadly, a lot of times that still isn't enough to do it. And everybody's bottom is different, too. I mean, it's not, you know, you don't have to lose everything to hit your bottom to spark change.
Some people are high bottom drunks.
Yeah, high bottom
you know,
exactly.
substance use, they top. I have a high bottom anyway, so you know, for
you
me,
do, dear, you do. But you know, the best case scenario is whenever a person has wants to change. They want this, and then they follow it up with some sort of action. They seek out some sort of pathway to recovery or pathway to change in some way. So far, Chantel has not reached her rock bottom. She has not taken any action at all, and she does not want to change. It's all lip service, okay? And again, it's unfortunate because with everything that's going on with her, physically, emotionally, mentally, it's just a matter of time before this event happens to her, and I hope that it's not so devastating that she can't recover from it.
Yeah.
I see it all of the time, and I was getting very angry watching the videos.
He was getting a little hot under the collar.
It's just, you know, my big pet peeve is that it's happening publicly like this.
So publicly, and that she's profiting off of it. And she's
profiting off of it. I am completely against it. It does not sit right with me. I don't like it at all. I can't believe she hasn't been flagged or demonetized or something because of this. I mean, she is actively... It's just bad, you know, and I personally don't like it. I mean, she don't care what I think at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
just sharing my opinion.
We're just two guys on YouTube.
I know.
Who are too old to be doing this.
Totally
but, you know,
opinion.
Just put it out there.
You know, one thing that I wanted to say, and we kind of disagree a little bit about
this. We disagree about
a little bit about this, you know, the whole Shannon situation, and when she called, you know, Chantel out, when she called her out with all that situation with Shannon, you know, okay, I am a very extremely loyal person, you know, and that's probably something that I would do in somebody's best interest. Is it right? Is it wrong? Okay, I personally think going to her family, yes, absolutely. You touched on it when you said, when you were talking about the abuse and what you would do for someone. To call someone out publicly on a live stream when there are haters there and there are supporters there and they're all this, to call someone out like Shannon did, you kind of feel that's wrong. I kind of feel that that's right. My point being is that the only way to reach her right now, Chantel, right now, is through these friggin' live streams, because that's how she lives her life. Her life is nothing more than wake up, CPAP mark still on her face, can't even think, go live, eat, bees, repeat. That's all that that's what her life is now. The only way to reach her was to do that. And it did reach her, and now she has to deal with it. Whether she deals with it negatively, positively, whatever, you know, we've seen both this week, whatever. And that's just my point about how Shannon decided to go about doing it. I truly believe that Shannon felt there was no other way but to do it that way.
I don't really doubt. I mean, in the very, very, very back of my head, there's like, you're always wondering with anyone on YouTube, do they have ulterior motives?
Right.
But
because we only know what we see.
I only know what
don't
I
know
see.
Shannon. I don't even know Chantel.
No,
I
but
only
I mean,
know what
the part where we disagreed was on the issues of abuse. You know, if Chantal called me with that. I'm blowing up your mom's phone. I'm calling your dad's phone because you're gonna. What if something happens to you? That's on me.
Yeah. What if?
And
What if
and
he
I made
died?
no effort to intervene because you asked me not to. If you told me you were going to hurt yourself, that's not a secret I'm going to keep.
Right.
Because if you're in danger, and I know, and I don't do anything, that's on me. You know, and how am I going to feel if I? What's a bigger betrayal to my friend? Letting them die,
Right.
or you know. So especially if I think they're not thinking clearly.
Right.
So I would have totally blown up your family's phones. The chat, I don't know if I would have did it, but it worked.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can't argue with results. It put it on Main Street and made her deal with it.
Did.
So I don't know if I would have done it, but if it worked, it worked.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, that's just what I wanted to say about
Yeah.
that point. That's just the way I felt about that. And as far as her, I guess specifically not doing coke anymore, that's all. That's not true. I mean, the very fact that she can't even name the day that she stopped, her last use, is a little suspect there. Most people, when they quit their drug of choice, they can tell you at least the day that they did it. Not everybody, but I mean, it's like a thing. It's like,
because usually the first day after sucks.
Yeah.
The first few days after suck.
You do remember it, and she cannot give us a day, a time, nothing. She's very elusive about it, and come on. But I didn't mean to talk so long.
That's okay.
Didn't I? Sorry.
No, because you covered a lot of stuff that we were already covering or going to cover. So.
I do wish, honestly, I wish the best for her. I think this is a very sad situation. It's a very unfortunate situation. And it is something that I do see in my job. And I do see it, pretty much every day.
I have seen sicker people than Chantal get well.
Absolutely.
I have to say that. I've seen people with bigger problems. Despite her melodramatics, there is shit going on under there. And I've seen people with bigger problems than Chantal get better and come out of it.
Yeah.
And not take themselves so goddamn seriously when they're done.
Yes. My only advice, for what it's worth, no one asked me for it or whatever, is to put the fucking phone and camera down and take care of your shit, because you're gonna die.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Now back to our regularly scheduled thing. So again, Mark just said, and I was just going to wrap up as far as Shannon's intervention into the situation. I was not put in that position, but had I been, I felt like maybe reaching out to family members, yes, because if someone tells me they're going to be hurt or they're being hurt and asks me to keep that secret, I can't keep that secret. Don't tell me. I'm not that friend, I guess. Sorry. I'm not the one who's going to keep a secret that you're hurt or you're getting hurt or that you might get hurt again. I'm not one to broadcast that, in the chat. That's just not my style. But, like Mark said, it got her attention, and it's the only way Chantal's reachable right now. So, you can't argue with results. It put it out in the open. It made her think about it. It made her talk about it every single day, which is, drama content and more money for her, but at least maybe she thought about it more. The last video she did was, it's done. But she was so high, you could tell she was, not grieving too well. So, that's my own opinion on that. As far as Chantal's opinion behind all of this, she knows what happened. She knows the truth. She knows what causes bruises. She knows how she was talked to. She knows what she was putting up with. Whether she thought she deserved it or was willing to put up with it for some reason, that's between her and whatever. I don't know. I guess that's where I'll leave that for now. BB is my new favorite person. I like BB so much more now than when they dated. I don't know why. Because I think Milk Tea had said it. He's close enough to her that he knows her, but he's further enough away from the situation that he's not sucked in. When BB and her talked about this situation with Shannon, BB had said she might have saved your life. You know what I mean? By putting it out on Main Street. And there's a point. Chantal made the video, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I love you, I eat you, I don't know what it was. Where she was talking about kind of getting it. And BB, bless his heart, is, he threatened to call her family too, if she didn't do something about it. So, I mean, I trust BB's judgment. He's known her a long time, and he seems like a pretty level-headed guy. The point was, I think, intervention, period. I don't think Chantal wanted anyone to say anything to anyone on or off YouTube. And the fact that both of those things happened, and she already felt like she was being smothered in, support, and now she's going to get more on top of that because she's been a victim, possibly, of assault. She's going to drown in support at this point. But, she said she wants attention. Verbatim, needy, attention seeking, So the action plan during this video, where she's going to get it together and tell the truth and hear you and hear me and everything, the action plan involves talking to a women's counselor, talking to an addiction counselor. Even though she's off cocaine, she might transfer back to food. So, forgiving Shannon was part of it too. So the backpedal of all of this raging and telling people, mind your business, it's my life, so what if he hit me, so what if I hit him back, so what if I'm the mean one, maybe I throw things. I see you, I hear you, I missed some red flags. Yes. It was just some bad stuff. I do need addiction counseling. Again, the transfer back to food. It started. Some of her clothes don't fit anymore. So, yeah. It was a toxic relationship. Abusive on both ends. I don't know what she's like when she's on coke. She might be a mess. So, and BB said she'll be the girl on the porch. She'll be the girl on the porch with a pack of condoms, not knowing where she is at 4 a.m. Possible. Never say never. Never say never. Believe me. I did not get in line, in high school. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Raging alcoholic. Not to put too fine a point on it. So, going through the high streams, there was a lot to kind of put together. She did some cleaning, where it seemed like she was, she did like 7-hour live, a 5-hour live. There was a lot of them. I was trying to just pull out highlights that made sense from the middle of all this crap that was going on. So the last one, stop touching your eyes, by the way. You're going to give yourself pink eye. Stop it. Use different liner, or learn to go without it. I don't know. So, the last video that just came up that I saw was It's Done. So, after all this turmoil back and forth, which, whatever, she goes over, and she drove sober. I'm trying to put the timelines together between these lives and when she traveled and not make accusations. So we're just going to say she traveled late at night or early in the morning with Pete's, God, I love Pete's, to go to Dom's to drop off Dom's laundry because she'd been doing his laundry because she's that girl.
Oh.
I know. I ain't never done a man's laundry. Ever. They do mine. Actually, they don't. We have a lot of laundry for 2 men, and no one's doing it. But she went to bring it over and drop it off there, and she brought Pete's with him, the muscle. And Pete's went up to the door with her. God love Pete's. And she left it there, and then left, and then texted him. And he said, well, I'm not there. And then she got jealous. Well, where are you at 4:30, in the morning? So they bring the stuff, drop it off, go back to her place. She gets blazed at 9:30 in the morning this morning. She is wrecked. She said she got home and started smoking. I don't think if she would have been high driving if Pete's was in the car with her. I don't even think Pete's would be so much of a pushover that he would be like, well, I'll go with you to keep you safe. Because Pete's can't drive. I mean, he can, but apparently he's so, gripped with anxiety that he just has a hard time doing it. He's not very good and not comfortable doing it. So he wouldn't go with her to be like a backup driver. He would just go for support. And I really don't think Pete's would cross the line of getting in the car with her if she's intoxicated. I think he would probably try to keep her home. Just a guess. So in the high stream, they're not even live streams, they're high streams. It's done. Yep, came home, got herself smoked up, went with Pete's. She said she's just been so depressed, she just feels safe in her room. Isolating. Again, none of this is news. None of this is news. Hide in my room, eat, get high, talk to people online, defend all my behaviors, and then apologize for all my behaviors, and then do all my behaviors, and then defend all my behaviors, and then apologize for all. I mean, that's about 4 years worth of content right there. So, let's see. Maybe today we'll put together the baking rack. That unassembled baking rack is like a metaphor for her life. It is. So I had some more thoughts on that with It's Done. Well, you can see how well she's coping if you look at this video. I mean, I don't even know if I can. I feel bad even faking looking intoxicated, but I mean, she's gone. She's gone. And I said I've been 1,000 kinds of high with 1,000 kinds of people, and it looks like more than one drug. It looks like more than THC. I didn't say it. It looks like it, or it's just a whole fucking like a lot of it. So, she said she's still in love with Dom very much. She's wanting to go eat and sleep and watch But I'm a Cheerleader, which is a fabulous movie. And so is Drop Dead Gorgeous. You should watch that too, because if you like But I'm a Cheerleader, you'll probably like Drop Dead Gorgeous too. Okay, I'm about disgusted now. So, I'm sorry if this was all a little bit disjointed. I'm a little roided out. But basically, the gist of what I got is that now she feels like the last 3 months were hell. As opposed to living her life, and we're jealous because she lost weight and got her groove back, and full face of makeup, and fuck you red lipstick, and all that stuff, and the eyelashes that were 1.5 feet long, and, you know, she's this skinny bitch going out now. It's starting to crumble a little bit. And I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but, you know, at the same time, people aren't super sympathetic to someone who has made a mess out of their own life. And you have to understand why. For the most obvious reason, it's like people want to say, well, knock it off. And if you can't knock it off on your own and you need help to do that, and you continue to refuse that, and continue to pound your head against the wall, you know, I can handle it. I'll do it my way. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I just need some time. I just need another day in my room. I just need another pizza. I just need another Nashi, you know, just to get through. It's just another thing to numb me to the next day. You can go on like that for a while. You can. But the human spirit can only be crushed so small. You know, I'm not a super spiritual person, but the part of a person that wants to stay alive can be crushed quickly, and buried quickly in drugs, food, and depression. So, just putting that part out there. Let's see. Like I said, people aren't as eager to help someone who's an active participant in their own demise. So people aren't like, oh, poor Chantal is killing herself. People aren't sympathetic to that, generally. I'm a little sympathetic because I've done it to myself, but you're not going to find a whole lot of people that are going to even care at all that you're, you know, halting your life for... I mean, life's been on hold. Nothing's happened. No news. Nothing. No good news for months. To BB's point on Shannon, how, you know, her telling may have saved your life, I can see that. I can see that. I don't know the interior workings of Chantal's life. I don't know if it is more effective to reach her family or if it is to put her on blast at her job. I don't know. I think it's a matter of style, individual style, and how someone would address a person than it is a right-wrong thing. Because, again, you can't argue with results. And the results of what happened is that it became an open discussion. It became a non-taboo topic. She spoke a little more about it. Not just for us to get more details to talk about, but there's probably something helpful for her to talk about it with the group. It is 1% helpful for her to talk about it with her chat, and 99% helpful to talk to a therapist or other women who've been in her position and have come out of it and can give her some advice. Lived experience. Somebody with some lived experience would be very helpful, perhaps. She's officially done with Dom. I don't believe it. I'm so sorry, honey. I don't believe you. Till the 21st. Maybe the 20th. We'll stay the night before in Montreal. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? If you don't want to get back with him, if you really don't, and you will, but if you don't, put something between you and him. Make other plans. Get so loaded you can't leave the house. I don't know. Something. But anything. Because it's not good. It's not good. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I was a little more disgusted this week only because watching someone that intoxicated, especially this It's Done video, is unsettling. It's 9:30 in the morning and she's wrecked. I know Chantal has weird sleep cycles, but still, you know, you're going to drive through the drive-thru at 9:30 in the morning wrecked like that. So, well, she wouldn't be wrecked in driving, of course. So, final thoughts? Where do we go from here? I don't know. When is the 21st? Next week? We'll see, I guess. So I'm not optimistic that she's going to follow through with any of the plans she made to call any of the professionals that she probably needs to see. I think she'll probably be still in her bedroom, still getting high, talking about boys. Dom will come up again. because she still has feelings for him, and she likes this bad boy thing. When I think of bad boys, I don't think of Dom. I've seen his picture. He's not an ugly man. He's attractive, I guess. If he is attractive to her, that's all that matters. Okay, that's all that matters. She likes it. But I wouldn't like anyone who bruised me that much during intimacy. I don't care. You put a bruise on me like that, I'm breaking your jaw. Don't even. So, he'll be around next week, I believe. As soon as some money comes in, I think she'll be traveling a little bit. I don't know. I hope she's not in a worse position, but I said that last week, and she is, I think. I mean, if she's away from Dom, great, but I don't think it's true. And if she was not using coke, that'd be great, but I don't think that's true. So, no hate, but we'll see. I mean, she knows her position better than anybody else, assuming she still has insight into what she's doing. So, that's between her and herself to figure out, I guess. Self-reflection? Maybe. I don't know. I can't hold up our comments section and just read what agrees with me until I feel better. I gotta be able to take everybody's opinion at least a little bit into consideration. And if it's based on nothing, you can dismiss it. But if there's a little bit of truth in there, take the owie and think about it a little bit. That's all. That's all. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. One more announcement, actually. Check out our shorts. We are doing a Halloween costume or Halloween t-shirt design contest. So check out our last short that we did. It goes until the end of this month. And you can have a chance to create a piece of art that you can submit to us. And we will put it on our SmokeySteveAndMarc Halloween t-shirt. So check it out. The prize is you get your shirt. And it's a $100 Amazon gift card too. So check our last shorts out for details. It was the last short we put out. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. You can contact us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and our contact information is all listed below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. We go live. We have good mods. It's usually pretty chill. Same couple topics. Foodie Beauty will come up. She usually does. A couple other topics, but it's really light. So if you don't have anything else to do, please stop by. Thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, Mark.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.